just can't move.
Play?
It's gone.
Record.
So, at first we were going to learn Yesod Mibashiv and Elam, and I came across this Torah, and I felt like it was more appropriate for this week as what's going on with Eretz Yisrael. I thought possibly we could connect our hearts and our souls to all those in Eretz Yisrael. This comes from a sefer from a cook.
No, never mind.
They recorded his Shalosh Drashos, and this is at the end of Chayei Sarah. So this Torah is from Yaakov Moshe Karlap, and
What's the name of his book that it's in?
Shmuas Raya.
Cool.
Yeah. Here's a sheet.
Chaim.
Chaim. I think there's only on Bereshis, but this is the idea. It's good to hold a sefer. Okay, so he asks a few questions at the beginning. Chayei Sarah, v'achar kach b'tam Sarah. First, we say the life of Sarah, and then discussing her passing. L'chora kasuv but l'saper misa Sarah. So the pasuk really is meant to say about the misa, but it starts with Chayei Sarah. V'kanisa maras machpelah, v'kasuv matchel al divrei Chayei Sarah. And also it's about to stress the kinyan of maras machpelah, but it's talking about the Chayei Sarah. It seems odd. Yaakov kasuv, v'yichi Yaakov. The same thing occurs when we talk about Yaakov's passing. V'yichi Yaakov, and Yaakov lived be'eretz Mitzrayim misbar kama shamim. Gar be'eretz Mitzrayim. Kan ma'azeh misamin. So what's going on with Sarah and Yaakov that it's about to discuss their deaths, but it starts with Chayei Sarah and V'yichi Yaakov. Kamo kein omer akasa v'yavo Avram l'spod l'Sarah u'liv kosa. So his other question is, Avram comes to give a hesped for his wife Sarah and cries over her. So, halo habachi hu lifnei ha'hesped. Shouldn't it be first that Avram's crying over Sarah's death and then he's giving the hesped? So those are the questions. Okay, so we'll keep in mind, Eretz Yisrael and what's going on these days. Be'or zeh, Eretz Yisrael hi Eretz HaChaim. Eretz Yisrael is the land of the living. V'chsiv nasati tzvi be'eretz HaChaim. Just like it can't tolerate and it can't hold within her other nations, and for them it's a land that consumes its inhabitants. So too adversely it's the Eretz HaChaim for Am Yisrael. Just like the Mabul didn't fall, it didn't happen in Eretz Yisrael. Kedas Chazal be'Eretz Yisrael lo yard Mabul. You'll see Eretz Asher lo hagishma biyom zam. Kain gam be'es hachet haklali shel eitz hadas. By the chet eitz hadas lo nitma'a haaretz ba'achet. The land of Eretz Yisrael wasn't metame through the chet. V'lo ala namra haklala shel arura adam ba'avurecha. Rak mishim os estrachov enu yachol lahanos mirov shivas kacha. Whoever listens to their own path, they can't. Enu yachol lahanos mirov shivas kacha. It's as if they can't enjoy the land in its abundance of kedusha. Avram shehitchel atakin es ha'olam hayitzarach lenatzeach gam es hamaves. So when HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises to Avram Avinu that he's going to get Eretz Yisrael, so he has to be lenatzeach gam es hamaves. He has to conquer death. Ukshenitna lo haaretz nasna lo almanas l'chiyus chayei olam. And he's given the land of Israel almanas that Am Yisrael be living chayei olam forever. Chayei netzach ba'aretz. Right, an everlasting life in Eretz Yisrael. Ve'amnam tikunam shel ahavos bilvad. However, this tikkun of acquiring Eretz Yisrael by conquering death itself That's just for the tikkun of the avos. That's just for Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Bli gilui geza kodesh shel Yisrael lo yachlu adayin lahagia lidei atikkun b'shleimus b'Yaakov. But the tikkun doesn't occur until Yaakov Avinu. Shekavar haya bo shtei habechinos. Yaakov Avinu is different than Avram. Avram he's an Av. Yaakov is both an Av in Am Yisrael. He's both an Av and he's Zera Avram. So he's Zera Yaakov. So he's both a father of Am Yisrael and he's a child within Am Yisrael. Those two aspects are what allows him to be mitakein maves. Okay. Avian shal Yisrael v'gam Zera Yaakov asher bam b'charta. Hu raku, just Yaakov, higia lidei hashleimus azos. He comes to the shleimus. Yaakov Avinu lomes. Yaakov Avinu is on the level of lomes. Ma kishu lazaro, ma zara b'chaim, afu b'chaim. Just like Yaakov Avinu is living, so too his Zera, Am Yisrael, us, we're living. Lazos lifnei Chayyei Sarah lo heichin Avram makom achuzas kavar. So back to the parsha. Before Sarah dies, Avram Avinu doesn't choose a place for the kever. Ki tzafa legeula sheyeh nigal gam min hamaves liyashlim atikun liyos beretz chaim. V'gam achrei Chayyei Sarah v'hayizakuk liknos achuzas kaver. Okay? Amar ger toshav anochi imachem. So in the parsha, when Avram Avinu is buying Maras HaMachpelah, he considers himself ger v'toshav imachem. When he's talking to Ephron and different nations, he considers himself a foreigner in this land. Sha'afal pi shehu choshev l'chayus be'eretz chay kodesh chay netzach u'lashem zeh nitna lo haaretz v'al kein kana me'es Ephron es asadeh v'amara. Okay, fine. This is what we need to focus on here. V'atorah chozeres b'chol maku mazkira es amaras ha'machpelah. In this parsha, the Torah goes kama pamim to say that Avram Avinu bought the land of Maras HaMachpelah from Ephron. Shenipnasa me'es Ephron lehodia shemitzad ha'avos umitzad ha'aretz lo hayet tzarech liyos lahem achuzas kaver ba'aretz ki hi eretz chaim liyisrael. The Torah goes out of its way to say that Ephron is the one who Avram is buying Maras HaMachpelah from, even though it has no bearing on Avram's ownership of the land. Yeah? You see that? No? Anybody?
Yeah, Avram still owns the land, nevertheless.
That's what Rashi says. He says, I'm a Ger Tosha, but if you don't want to sell it to me, I'll just exercise my right as going to get this land as an inheritance.
Okay, good. Ve'amnam imlo nischu legamri es hamavis ba'aretz. In order to be Kona Eretz Yisrael, Avram, Yaakov, via the story of Sarah's death, there has to be a netzach over mavis ba'aretz.
In the last sentence before?
Yeah.
Is this like something that you didn't need to buy like a burial place because in Eretz Yisrael, because Eretz Yisrael is like always alive?
It seemed as though he wasn't sure he was ever going to die.
Avram Avinu first thought that the tikkun of maves occurred through him.
And therefore no one would die.
Once Hashem says to Avram Avinu, the land of Eretz Yisrael is yours, he also thought, it's Eretz HaChaim, so there's no such thing. There's already been a victory over the idea of maves in the world. But really, that tikkun of maves comes through Yaakov Avinu Lomes.
Which means that it still existed, which meant that
he had to buy, right?
So he was learning it through the death of Sarah.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, dispelled one notion.
Meaning he kind of figured, Sarah. He waited until after Sarah's passing because he figured he only realized, we haven't been victorious over Mavis yet. Sarah has just passed from this world. We need to buy a kever. Yeah?
He also could have thought that they were victorious because of Akedas Yitzchak.
Right,
Yeah.
He was going to kill his son, and
Yeah.
God saved his. Or
Or like the legend with it was Chayyei Mason. Chayyei Mason already happened.
Oh, because Yaakov
already.
Yitzchak.
Right,
Yeah.
because he did. It's
Case-
post-Messianic, it's post-Chayyei Mason, so there is no more death after.
well, he thought it is.
It's a one-time process.
Meaning there is no death. There's nothing to be machaya if there is no misa.
Right, we had Mace. Let's say it's going on the assumption Yitzchak died.
Yeah.
On a case, Yitzchak was resurrected.
Right.
That's it. No more death.
Right.
That has come to pass. Now we just live.
Right. So he was.
Because that was.
So when Sarah leaves the world, he was surprised that.
This is a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was Chayyei Mason, but in time of events, Sarah died when he was.
It seems though it was unknown to him until he.
To him, but in terms of actual happening.
You saying he should have known?
Meaning, as a tikkun of mavis, he might have thought, oh, there's the shleimus, or the full fixing of death in the world, but simultaneously, unaware to him,
There was death actually.
there was a death taking place when a life or a rebirth was happening with Yitzchak. It's not that, when he came back and told Sarah that Yitzchak was what happened, that she died. She died as they were.
It's pretty spooky, One life comes back, one life goes simultaneously.
Yeah. All right. Ve'amnam im lo nitzku legamri es hamavis ba'aretz. So if Avram Avinu was wrong and there was no victory over mavis ba'aretz, b'chol zos ein zu hamavis shenigzera mito sachet. So he had to recalibrate what mavis was about. Hasam ne'amar ki b'yom achalecha mimeno mavis tamus hainu misa achar misa shehi kula yirida v'lo kein hamisa liyisrael b'eretz Yisrael. So mavis, as we consider it, is a yirida v'lo kein is a misa achar misa, and meaning there are two ways to look at what's occurring every day on the streets of Yerushalayim. It's a misa achar misa, or it's not. Either it's like
the original misa?
mitotzah sachet is like, okay, it's something
It's the next line answers your question. There's misa achar misa, and there's misa l'shem tchia.
Right.
There's a death that's a precursor to tchia samesim, and there's a death that just is another death in the line of death after death after death after death.
Yeah.
You die, he dies, she dies.
It's like you've released something.
Whereas when there's death that a tchia is going to come afterwards, it's not. It's a momentary death. It's not a real death because life is going to happen afterwards. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
When there's the notion of tchiyas hamesim, so we see it as death, but it's not really death because ultimately that life is going to come back. So it's not death. It's just like a temporary suspension of life, to use like other words.
Or is it almost?
Yeah,
it's a birth to another place. Yeah.
You're dead.
And that occurs when? Or that occurs in what scenario?
So I think what he's saying.
So what he's about to say
is
that that's what occurs uniquely to Eretz Yisrael.
What occurs uniquely there?
A misa in Eretz Yisrael is a misa l'shem tchiyah.
Right, and outside of Eretz Yisrael?
Obviously, it's the same thing, but the raya is from Eretz Yisrael.
Gotcha.
Meaning, if you're Am Yisrael, so you're Am Nitzli. So
because
it's an everlasting
dies,
life.
So therefore, the neshama keeps coming back.
Right.
So that's what's meant by That's what's meant by conquering Misa is not the fact that you don't die, but the fact that it's not a forever death. Is that the concept?
Or it's just a rebirth into whatever world this neshama is leaving to.
I'll believe it till I hear the end.
So let's see the rest of it. I mean, look, I don't know.
You have to believe
I told them, Mike, that we weren't going to go dark, but like I want, but like, but in the end of the day, like what's happening there, like Almu Dahlia, like it's, I don't know, it's like you get on the 1, you get on the 4, you get on the 3, the G, the 7, the 2, the 6, whatever, and but there it's like it's a total. I don't know. This week uniquely, I've been more aware of how far away I am from the people who live, not the people who are directly affected by what's going on in Eretz Yisrael, but like
Close.
the lives that people in mass are choosing to live. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could just explain it as a death a Jewish death that happens outside of Eretz Yisrael. So that could be the end of that Jewish line in that place in the world, but the Jewish people in the land of Israel, regardless of whether death happens there, because the land is an eternal land and the people are an eternal people. So in the land, there's no such thing as Misa, this concept of Misa HaMisa, because it's ultimately going to be a rebirth, Tchias HaMesim, in Eretz Yisrael. Versus you live in the diaspora, so the Jewish presence can die out in that area because it's not Eretz Yisrael. It doesn't have the
longevity. It's not
yeah.
meant to.
Maybe I'm diluting it by saying this, but it seems like it's kind of there's like kind of think how to express this. There's a finite number of souls or of neshama, let's say, as a whole that exists in Eretz Yisrael that is nitzvi, and when part of that, let's say, we think leaves from a misa, it's not leaving. It's just being replaced by a future birth.
For sure, yeah. That's it.
Okay. Just
Why is that? That's the question is why do we need? It's called Eretz Chaim, but we're not nitzvi. Whether we're in Belarus or we're in Yerushalayim, we're not going away, right? So Rav Karlab says, Shiach Misa L'Shem Tchiyah, the Misa that's occurring in Eretz Yisrael is L'Shem Tchiyah, Shemirov Haga'aguyim Sha'aneshama Miska'ages L'Shuv L'Makor L'Is'aneg Al Hashem. Regardless of what type of person there is, if there's a Yisraeli that's living in Haaretz, Mirov Haga'aguyim, from the innate, whether it's sub, un, or fully conscious, there's an overflow of Ga'aguyim to be close to the Makor, Ulisane Gal Hashem, and he nifredes min haguf v'zeh shnei he nifredes min haguf. That's exactly what separates. When there's a Misa in Eretz Yisrael, it's from this Rov Haga'aguyim that separates the neshama from the guf. It seems crazy because a person is just standing there looking at their watch, checking their tweets, texting their friends, waiting to go to work. But in that simple, everyday morning existence, if a soul is taken in that context, it's mirov haga'aguyim. It's from...
What is ga'aguyim? What's the translation of ga'aguyim?
Yearning, overflow of emotion, this
like when
unbounded
happens, your
love.
It seems he's saying your soul
departs because of it.
Of that
But
person, the
that-
person who dies?
Yeah.
in the soul world, it attaches itself to this the essence of Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah.
Like your goof is what's holding you back, and when you die there, it's. But then why would it make a difference where you die? Your soul can make leaps and bounds. Your body is what keeps you outside of Eretz Yisrael. Meaning, why would a death outside of Eretz Yisrael not have that same quality where you're...
It could be the quality of the soul, meaning the souls of Eretz Yisrael, something went right.
That's a great question, yeah.
Something went right to get the goof there. So even though it seems as though it's...
No, but on a soul versus body level, it's the body. So if your body didn't get you there, but your soul still has that same essential yearning to go to that source.
Right, to go back to that source, but...
So when you die, then
I think the koach isn't the same.
Yeah,
The
the
soul
soul
is not
cause
strong.
is the same. Right?
so what he's... I mean, Adam, repeat your question if what he says next doesn't satisfy you. He nefredes min haguf v'zeh shenamar b'sefer Chesed LaAvram ki be'eretz Yisrael hamisa al yidei malach Gavriel lo al yidei malach hamavas she'in zu b'chlal misa ela kula techiyah nifla. Rather, a misa in Eretz Yisrael is a techiyah nifla. Misas neshika v'zehu v'yavo Avram. Okay,
Very sweet.
Does that answer your question?
What was your question?
I mean, my question was, why does it make a difference where you die in terms of the soul?
It should always be you're just yearning for Hashem's closeness. So.
That's what your soul's doing. So regardless of whether you die in New York or you die in Yerushalayim, that's a physical, so your soul should automatically return to its connection to its root, because ultimately the body is what's holding it back from that. That was my question. But I mean, I don't fully understand the difference between
dying in Israel and dying.
Right, it's
I understand the concept of it,
because
it's a different degree of death. Where one isn't, one is. One is.
Right.
We believe that the Arba Misos based in, each one of them brings a different tikkun. At the end of the day, within the same amount of time, you're dead. Who cares whether it's but that path.
What have I done?
No, I'm saying each one of those
How
things
can you
brings
say
a
this
different
thing so dark?
tikkun. So
It's so
like,
funny.
like that.
All a person wants to do is make it. Yay.
No, what he's saying is that the death of Eretz Yisrael is not considered. It's not considered a death. It's not. It's not It's not bechlal misa. That doesn't mean it's not a type. It's not death.
Okay, this is a avoda. It's my birthday. We're gonna finish this Torah. We're gonna go to some vortlach. Okay. Good. Okay.
It's my birthday.
It's honestly,
What are you connecting to
the truth
this
is,
piece?
it feels selfish to maybe I checked what's going on there. Probably around 8 minutes this entire week. And I want to live in that place. So, you think the masses of people who choose to live in that place, you should kind of hear their wavelength of living, So
You tapped into that.
So first I just want to talk about tzaddikim, and then I felt okay, they're having a really tough week. We should probably, you know what I mean?
Why do you see this as a bad, a sad Torah?
It's not a sad Torah. If anything, it's a nitzchi Torah. It's about Netzach. It's about the deaths of Eretz Yisrael or
A different
the
type.
Shem Techiyah. Yeah, it's because of their closeness to Hashem. So let's finish that. Good, Hashem. Thank you. Okay, so the question we had, so the last question we had was, why was Avram Avinu crying after being masbid, right?
Why was the masbid?
It should have been he cried and then he gave a hesped, yeah?
No, I'm good.
So v'yavo Avram l'skod l'sara l'tzkosa hikdim hesped l'bechi legalos to tell us sheyedu ki ein l'damos misasam l'misasa shel Sarah. The death in general is different from the death of Sarah Yemenu. Shemisasa haisa ayidei prichas neshama, because her death came through this flowering, this emergence of the soul, mirov v'godel hasimcha, from this great amount of joy. Al shezachsa shebana yechida nekad al gabi hamizbeach ve'ad shelo hispid lahagid shelo nishchat percha nishmasa. We hear Torahs, and this is the ones I usually identify with, which is she died because she was afraid her son was about to be slaughtered. The opposite is true. Her neshama left was poreches because of the simcha that her son was going through the nisayim. Was going through the nisayim and
was being was getting zchus.
Was getting zchus. She was so happy.
Yeah.
She was so happy that parach nishmasa that her. Nice. Al shezachsa shebana yechida nekad al gam mizbech ve'ad shelo hispik lahagid shelo neshchat parach nishmasa. This is how every mother in Eretz Yisrael feels. Whether they're actually on a mount to be shechted or they're just waiting for a train. This is how a mother in Eretz Yisrael feels that a child is in this land, in the army, a part of this story. This is how they feel. It's not.
There's a value.
There's a value. Yeah. It very. Was that yo-yo?
No, I just said it's more than just a value.
Yeah, right.
It's like their life's goal.
Merov devekus v'simpas kadosh. They leave because of this rov devekus v'simpas kadosh. V'zeu chaf zeira. And this is what it means when the pasuk at the beginning of our parsha says uliv kosa, that Hashem cried over, that Avram Avinu cried over Sarah with the small chaf. Deliv kosa hainu ulivusa. Lashon levavtini achosi kala. The Torah makes the chaf smaller because the word really should be ulevusa lashon levavtini. It's a word of love. It's a word of warmth. Achosi kalash nizlavava begagueha v'zos gila Avram Avinu kimisasahi hamshacha achrei or yisbarach shema. This, you hear that, Chavra? Yeah? In a translator, good. Instead of livkosa, it's ulevusa, right?
Why is it ulevusa?
Because the crying that's going on here isn't about sorrow or things that are lost or.
Why did you change the letter from a kaf to a vav?
Because the chaf is small in the Torah, so the Torah is telling us it's small because it doesn't even really need to be there because it's about ulevusa. It's not about crying over something lost. It's about the warmth. It's about the warmth and the love. Ulevusa levavtini halev. About what the life that Sarah lived and Yitzchak was going through when she passed away.
Okay.
Devekus v'rov gaguim. Yeah? Anybody had ideas? Yichi? Whatever?
It's interesting perspective because then it like totally changes. Like the Southern came and told her what was happening. You assume that the Satan caused her to die because he gave her a negative,
right?
You know, but the Satan has, the Satan's a creation of.
You're saying even nicer than I was thinking.
You know,
you're saying the Satan even came to be Mevaser Tov. I was thinking the Satan came to try to say, "Oh, Mevaser Ra, your husband."
No, that's what I was
to
saying.
kill.
That's what I was saying. Like, he came to do. He said, "He's like, oh, I'm going to get her with this piece of information," and he said it, and she died. His end, whatever he wanted her to die.
Right.
So he achieved it, and he left thinking I was successful.
Right.
But what he didn't realize was that he wasn't. He was the opposite. He was successful because he was acting on behalf of.
But the funny thing is, we think, okay, people, let's say people in this world, they leave us, right? So we've lost them. Yeah, Sarah Imenu. We lost. Avram doesn't feel like he lost Sarah Imenu. He feels like she's ahead of him. People, you hear the idea? They're not behind us or forgotten. They're ahead of us. They're closer to Techia.
They're more alive than we're alive. In a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Galus is death.
We're just living, awaking, coma.
It said about
Avram, okay.
It said about the Novel Melech that on Kedushas Keser on Shabbos, he always looked at his watch. Like, people asked him, like, bro, checking your phone during Kedushas Keser, what are you doing? And he said that,
bro,
bro, what are you doing? So he said that he feels Kedushas Keser so close to God that he would die. And that he's afraid that he would die, so he needs to kind of like bring himself down.
I say also the Lubavitch, why they hold a handkerchief. The Rebbe hold on to something. When he's
the
towel. Or Rav Ishmael also does it.
There you go.
He was square to hold the towel.
Rav Ishmael holds the towel.
Alright, cool. Good. Shkach. So, let's learn some words. Yaakov Vinolomis.
That's why it's Chayei Sarah.
Chayei Sarah.
Because she's alive.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Great fun alive. That's a great fun alive.
It's the greatest album.
Greatest album ever.
Strong paper.
Yeah, no, right?
Isn't it?
It is.
I thought the same thing. It's hilarious. In my house. When I printed this, I'm like, this is way too thick.
It's nice, powerful.
I was thinking of it for this one.
Anybody need any? Good, we're good?
400 sheets of cards.
Okay. So let's learn halacha, a quick halacha. So, Amr Fer Shazel Lashon, top left. Kol hanhaga v'hanhaga shani mitzaveh la'asos. Nachman says every single hanhaga that ani mitzaveh la'asos hu segula v'tikun. This is halacha yomi kaver. Omoil al ma she'avar ve'al ha'asid. It affects that which has happened and that which will happen. La'achar ha'istalku shel adam, after a person passes. V'limos ha'mashiach, in the days of Mashiach. L'tchiyas ha'mesim, days of tchiyas ha'mesim. L'asad lava, in the days of the future. Just for the record, nothing is connected in these avodah. I'm not here to unify ideas. I'm just here to maybe connect to a bunch of them. Okay, so that's our halacha for the day. This is good for everything. Next one, Shnei Chayei Sarah.
everything.
The
This one needed.
Usually I'm okay. Shnei Chayei Sarah.
So what do you need a tikkun for in Chayei Sarah and all that? You know?
What do you mean?
Like his tikkunim work for Mashiach. Like you think you don't even need a tikkun when Mashiach comes.
Well, they're still applicable.
They're still applicable.
Yeah.
Raffi, I have to say, they're a lot more organized than usual.
Are you kidding?
Usually,
Chaim.
I guess 1 year older, a little more mature and a little more organized.
Well, let's look together.
Quite happy.
Quite happy, yeah?
Anyone want some tej?
Well, it's just a little less than bottle if you want.
No, this is tej.
You don't like it?
Yeah, it's the original. Yeah.
It's easier for us to show.
Oh, okay. All right, next word. You ready? Shnei Chayei Sarah says the Heilige Kotzker b'medrash kashem shehim tamimim kach shenoseim tamimim. Just like these people, Sarah Imenu was tamim. Just like them, they were their years. They were also tamim. Says the Kotzker shenoseim kamo shenu yehem. Let's just all look. No, don't look down. Look at the Torah.
Read the word.
Read a little bit. Let it register, and then we'll look up and we'll talk. And we'll just connect to that point of understanding without words. Shenosehem kemo shenuyehem. Just as their years were tamim for Sarah Yemenu and all the tzaddikim, kemo shenuyehem, so too are all their changes. So some people, in their life, they have segments of a life.
Zones.
Right? Zones. So, it was, for me, it was 2009, 2000, what are we, 14, 15? Right? And then there was also 87 to 94. And then from 94, there was 94 to 97, whatever. So there are segments, people usually, if they're doing hisbonenus, if they're thinking and they're doing a cheshbon nefesh, then they usually segment their lives in accordance with things that are occurring in their lives. But by Sarah Imenu, all the changes that she went through, all those segments, the differentiations between one part of her life to another, that's all tamim.
Meaning she saw it broad?
She saw it broad pictured, even though it was 127, right? Mm-hmm. So it still was Vayu Chayei Sarah. It was still the completion of her life. So Tamimus means you're connecting one segment with the next segment. And that's what happened with Sarah Imenu. The Kotzker, though, is saying different. Kotzker is saying, Af she'asadikim v'chasidim mishunim betuno v'seyam. Sometimes you look at one of the Rebbes, you look at one of the tzaddikim, they're doing something funny with their hands, or they're doing like this, and they're a little weird, and they're yeah, and they're whatever. So the Kotzker is saying, Af she'asadikim v'chasidim mishunim betuno v'seyam, just like they're different. And sometimes what attracts us to the Rebbes is that they're just doing things differently than other people. They're not just like this monotonous way of giving a Dvar Torah on Shabbos, They're doing different mannerisms, they're saying different things. So the tzaddikim, in their differences, are tamimim. So Shnei Chayei Sarah is teaching us that just as their differences are tamim, so too were Sarah Imenu's years. Mishar am hakol hu tamimim etzlam. Higam hashinuyim shalahem heim tamimus gemura. Just their differences or their changes, which I think is closer to what I'm thinking, because mannerisms could be copied, but the changes that a person goes through throughout their day or their years, they should be completed in a way that there's an understanding of what one person is going through in a level of tamimus. Yeah? Any ideas before we go into the next idea?
Rich Meyer says very similar thing. He says that what this means is that Sarah Mena went through ups and downs in life, but she never beat herself up about it.
Okay.
Because she was between us about it.
She was never crazy up or crazy down.
So
No, she had ups and downs, but she didn't beat herself up about it. She didn't get depressed. She didn't get
She
stuck.
never viewed it
depressed
as
about
like, oh my god, I'm going through a down swing.
Right,
That's swing.
It's like, this is what it is now.
This is Sarah's life.
Yeah.
This is my life. And this is.
That's how I'm living it.
It's a life.
Yeah.
She focused more on that than
yeah, I don't know.
easier said than done.
I think mostly this, I'm passing out doubts, etc.
Great paper.
But honestly, the truth is, I'm just following the flow of whatever. Someone says something, so Richard Meyer said that she had many different difficult times in her life, and yet she still stayed the same. That's the midah of hishtavus, of equanimity, right? Whatever occurs to a person, they stay strong, yeah? So says this Sfas Emes, B'medrash Yodea Hashem Yemei Tamim Kishem Shehem Tamim Kach Sheno Samtim. Just like Sarah Imenu was a Tamim in her avoda, you have? No.
Nice. Which one?
Just like Sarah Imenu was a Tamim in her avoda, so too her years were Tamim. Yeah? Okay, V'rashi B'perish Shnei Chayei Sarah Kulan Shavim L'Tova. All the years of Sarah were equal to good. But who midas hishtavus? This is the midah of hishtavus. Equanimity. Friends, this is such a good one. V'hu ma'ala gedola liyos adam omei b'tmimuso. B'chol masha over love, whatever happens to a person, they stand in their tamimus. V'yesh nisayin la'ani v'yesh la'aser. Of course, a person who's wealthy has a test, and a person who's poor also has a test. The context matters not when you have hishtavus. V'sar b'techila yimel avru aleh kama zmanim kashim. She went through tough times. B'ra'avon u'lekichasa leparo v'avimelech. She was taken to Paro, Avimelech. She had tough times with hunger. B'sof yimeim hayalahem kol tov. But when we count up her days, Chayei Sarah, they're all the tov. V'lo na'aseh b'shum shinoi b'chol ha'shinoi ma'ela. And really, according to Sarah Imenu, it didn't make a difference whether they were difficult or amazing, right? It wasn't. She was the same when she was having a child and when she was going to Paro. Okay. So let's look at what the Baal Shem Tov says on the left. Shivisi Hashem Nenegdi Samid. Yeah. In Uman, I was thinking, when I give a Nech Sabura, I want to do something that's more practical. The only thing that I would say that maybe is more practical here is what the Baal Shem Tov says here. Shivisi Hashem Nenegdi Samid. We should have Hashem before us all the time. Shivisi Lashon Hishtavus. Right? We're unchanging. B'chol davar ha'ma'ura ha'kol shava etzlo bein be'inyan shemishabchim b'nei adam o mevazin oso. Whether a person's praising you or they're looking down on you, a person stays in the same place. V'chein b'chol shar devarim, also with other things. And this is what I like the best. V'chein b'chol ha'achilas bein she'ochel ma'adonim bein she'ochel shar devarim. Whether you're eating really, really great food or you're eating things that, it's pretty good, it's okay. Like, hakol yeshava be'einav. Everything should be equal in your eyes. One of the quickest things that involuntarily a person says when they're eating a Suda is like, oh, this is good. Or if they don't think it's so good, they kind of just refrain from saying it's good, or they say it's good because they want to be nice to the balabais, right? What if we just, before saying anything, we just, b'kavana, thought, hakol shavin, everything is good. Like, everything is equal. Whether it's a good meal or a bad meal, it's a good soup or a bad soup, hakol shavin.
I feel like you can also be so much more genuine when you compliment the host. If, you actually are not so into the food.
Yeah.
You'll be so much more genuine when you're like, this has absolutely nothing to do with it. This is, hakol shavin.
Yeah.
This is delicious soup.
The best cup of scotch in the Lewis cup of scotch is chocolate during the focus. Doesn't
Yeah.
change.
But we should still only drink good scotch, though.
Right.
I'm in.
It's the same reaction.
Yeah.
Doesn't change it. You do say it about mate.
Okay, good. So that's the idea here with the Baal Shem.
Consistency.
So the consistency that we're talking about here and the Hishtavos that Yitzchak brought up with Sarah Imenu is a nice Torah from Sukkotchav. I wish I learned more Sukkotchav. Mr. Weber would love some Sukkotchav, I think. That's what he always says. Bizarre. He says very good Torahs. And they're very understandable. Let's go through them. Bizarre Dama Shemisa Sarah Naasasa Mimenu Parsha B'Torah Mishum Shiyard L'Mitzrayim L'Kacha L'Beis Para V'Nitzla. We have an entire parsha that's called Chayei Sarah. Yeah. We have a whole parsha that's called Chayei Sarah. So why is that? Haperish Danisayon Shal Yiridus Mitzrayim LaAvram B'Yosef LaSarah Shenilchach LaParo. Avram and Sarah were. Avram had to go down to Mitzrayim. Sarah was taken by Paro. But during that time, Shelo Nidbach Behem Ra, no Ra was connected to them. V'aguf Olo Lidabeg Bo Hara Yoser Mimasha Alula Hanefesh. They stood strong. There was Hishtavos. There was consistency. Ubezeh Haisa Habachina Vizbar Shachomer Misulak Minara. That their material life was separated from Ra. Al Kain Zacha Haguf Lidaber Bo. What do you think that says? B'Torah, b'Kfuraso, b'Hespedo, ki ha'Hesped hu gam kein laguf al shenilkach mimenu or neshama. V'zeh perish Rashi ba'o al Sarah haya haner dolik me'erev Shabbos l'erev Shabbos. So we know one of the attributes of Sarah Imenu was that the Ner Shabbos stayed from erev Shabbos until the following Shabbos, right? That's awesome. Let's just say that, yeah? Because what is it saying to us? Shalom Bayis. There's Kiddush the entire week. Shomer V'Zochor. There's no
It's
Chol.
bigger than Kiddush on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It is.
Consistency of the flow. There's no Havdalah.
There's no Havdalah. Exactly. That's Sarah Imenu. So Kizeh HaNisayon Gam Kein Ba'adam Shiyotze MiShabbos, and this is the Nisayon that happens when a person leaves Shabbos. Yuma de Nishmasa, the day of the soul. Li'imei HaChol Le'asuk B'divrei Chol, the person has to go to work, etc. Shalo Yidabek Bo Davar Mi'in Yanei HaOlam. Really, a person shouldn't be cleaving so much to the things of the world that are taking us away from the focus on Hashem. Is that She'or HaShabbos Meir Ba'adam Kol Yemei HaChol. And ideally, the light of Shabbos is illuminating a person throughout the week. Al yidei kach ein nidbak bohara, and evil and negativity can't really touch a person. Gam kein lehepech, right? So to the opposite should be true, that Shabbos is so illuminated and so close to us, and we're so connected to it that no negativity can occur, no unholiness can occur in our lives. This is exactly the midah of Sarah Imenu when she went down to Mitzrayim. And nothing could cling to her because she was so holy, because her narrow Shabbos lasted from one end to the other. And this is the idea that Shabbos is Zeichel L'Yetzias Mitzrayim. Ki Yisrael Zachu L'Kach Mitzrayim. Am Yisrael was merited this in Mitzrayim. Sheyetzu B'li Dibuk Tumas Mitzrayim. And although we left at the 39th or whatever level of Tumah, nothing clinged to us when we left. V'hayazem Achmas Nisayon Avram, and this is because of what Avram and Sarah left for us in Mitzrayim. Because they set such a standard of Kedusha, of not connecting to negativity in Mitzrayim, that they were able to allow us to leave.
When we left, we didn't...
Exactly. Let him
go.
What?
Letting go. We were able to let go.
or not connect at all to anything
We
Mitzrayim
did
had.
connect to it.
What?
We did connect to it. We just were able to let it go once we left.
Is that the idea, you think?
No, it's saying that we didn't hold on to it, like, or we were able to shake it. It's not that we didn't take
Okay,
it.
cool.
I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if there's a difference between letting it go and
Not
that's a
picking
good.
up in the first place.
That's it. Yeah.
No, there is a difference. Meaning, we didn't have the strength to avoid it. We just had the strength to
Let it go.
let it go once
Okay, that makes more sense.
we didn't get stuck in it, because we did.
Because we fall to
Yeah, we were
Okay,
able
good.
to.
The hardest thing about getting stuck in something like that is when it starts to become self-defining. Meaning, like, I do something bad, then I am that person that does
Exactly, I
something
can't
bad.
shake it.
To be able to, like, allow myself to redefine, to not get stuck in my own self-judgment, right?
And that's what they left us. They left that for us. That they left this unbelievable thing that we could cling to that and sort of pull our way out of.
Right.
So we're better than
They
this
can see themselves differently.
negative self.
It's hard to do.
Right. Okay, good. Let's learn some more words and then call it a night. Yeah.
That's an awesome kavanah for a kiddush.
Sick.
I didn't know what's Shabbos to do with Yitzias Mitzrayim. And you gave the answer. I have no idea what else is.
Sarah's Neros.
Well, because we read Shabbos, so we're saying like it's Zeich Yitzias Mitzrayim. So just like Mitzrayim, like the Jewish people were able to leave Egypt and enter into holiness. So a Jew works all week. He can also come into Shabbos.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
He's
that.
not too tumah that.
Yeah, it's like I can't do the
There's a
Shabbos.
place to
go.
Yeah,
Avin Sarah set the standard of letting it go.
Yeah.
That letting go
Awesome
is also hard.
kavanah.
That's nice. Good.
To say that again? What?
I was just saying that letting go is also hard to go from like
Yeah.
work
Yeah,
week
yeah.
Right.
to go who I am as like a professional and who I am like as a to like connect really more with my source like as on Shabbos.
Cheers. Okay, good. I like that. Trying with that. Any other ideas, Mr. Ziv?
What?
Okay, let's go back to the Mortlow.
What it is.
That's me to say Shtavos. Just because Isaac brought it up, so figure it'd be
Cool.
Look, and then it ended with a kavanah for this week's Kiddush. What's gonna happen,
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. Okay.
There's a bunch of handouts, so anything is possible.
Exactly. That's how I like it. Okay. What should we pick?
Bottom left.
Okay, fine. It's very off, but let's do it. V'tikach chatzir v'titkase. So Rivka sees Yitzchak, and she covers her face. Yeah. Says the base Arami Karlin, who was Makariv many Jews. Not that that's an ikr, but it's very awesome that that was part of his soul.
Like the way you put that.
Yeah, whoa.
I gotta finish that sound.
No, I don't.
That was perfect. That said it all.
So Rivki Imenu sees Yitzchak Hatzadik, etc. Perish Rashi Lashon V'tipal Kamo Utikaver Utishaber. Her covering of her face, yeah, it's like the Lashon of Tikaver, like buried or concealed, Utishaber and breaking. Fine. This is just a general idea for all of us to maybe think about ourselves. L'chor Madua Mevi Rashi L'raya Davka Mishnei Milim El Utikaver Utishaber. Why these two words is he explaining that Rivka covered her face when she saw that Yitzchak was approaching? Shamati b'shem ha'admor HaKadosh Misadigora Zecher Tzadik L'Bracha. The Farish Bezek Kavan also Mosris Dihine Shlosha Pamim Misaspim B'Yemei Chai Ha'adam L'Chvoda. There are 3 days in a person's life that are L'Chvodo, that are in his honor. Bizman Shenolad, day of his birth. Bizman HaNisuyin, the day of his marriage. Bizman Petiras Min Olam, and the day that he dies. Yeah, good one. Bizman Shenolad, Bizman Petiraso, the day that he's born and the day that he dies, Einu Margish Es HaKavod, he doesn't feel the kavod. Huh? That's a nice one. Lisgaos Bezeh, to fill himself up with sense of self, yeah. Aval Bizman and Nisuyin, but the difference is that the only one that's for a sense of self is the day of his wedding. Who Margish Es HaKavod Mispar Bezeh. He delights in this kavod the day of his wedding, right? Al kain me'ida haTorah kedosha al imenu Rivka ki be'es hanisuyin, the day of her marriage, kishalakcha hatziif, when she took the scarf, utitaches, and she covered her face. Haya shava etzlo, and it was as if she was accomplishing in her tznius, in her anivus, in her just tzidkus, whatever for the female. Hayashava etzla kemo utishaber hi leda sheyashva haisha al mishaber. First thing Rashi says is, it's really the second thing, it's weird, but utishaber, she breaks, meaning the day of the leda, the day of a person's birth, because there's a fracture when a woman gives birth, right? Ukemo it should be good. Ukemo utikaver hi p'tirasa, and the same thing, she was also taking care of the kavod for herself, utikaver, during the day of her patira. Ki kavanasa haisa lo l'shem kavod b'tiferes rak l'tachlis nirtza b'kedusha b'tar l'shem shamayim. We got what we need to get out of that? Everybody on good? Mike, you got to focus a little bit more.
You're right.
It's a blank screen. Over there, behind you. Alright, anybody ideas?
Just
good?
Your face is covered most of the time when you read it.
Yeah, it's good.
So when you're reading this part,
Okay.
it's fitting.
3 days, good. Separate, Varlov, good. Everyone's happy. Moving on.
Let's do Vayetze Yitzchak L'Tzuach Pasada.
Vayetze Yitzchak L'Tzuach Pasada. It's always good. Shamati b'shem tzadik echad zecher tzadik levracha shamar Yitzchak avinu alav shalom yistaku b'bnei hakfarim l'yasher be'enav. At first he looked at the bnei hakfarim. What's a kfar? Like a village, yeah. V'lo yasher be'enav. He wasn't really so into these people. V'yarei v'hine gemalim b'ayim. But then he saw the gemalim b'ayim. Haperishu she'osim gmilos chasadim. He saw that they do gemilas chesed, shemekayimim haknasas orchem niskaro data, and then eventually you feel satisfied. Fine. What's going on there? Yeah. So let's say it like this.
Who is that?
What?
Who is this?
That's I guess someone in the Olam of Pshishcha heard someone say this. So let's bring it to the Purim a little bit. Yeah. Bnei Kfarim. Obviously, it's an obvious remez for any people who think like a grandchild of the Baal Shem, yeah? What?
I said it's a Megillah.
What?
Bnei Kfarim is the...
It's a Megillah, right?
Right.
Megillah Nikreis b'Yadalit, so we are mocked him for the Bnei Kfar, right? For the Yadalit, because they go into town and they gather up milk and water and fish, etc., and they bring it to the people in their village. So Yitzchak originally thought, the Bnei Kfar aren't roi to be davening around, so we'll go to the Sada and we'll daven on our own. Yeah? Purim. Yeah? And it is.
I thought it was that he didn't like to daven Dominion. And then he saw a cool guy, and he's like, alright, it's not so bad.
Right.
You know, you get that. Dreadful places, but there's a guy there who you're like, okay, I can deal with that camel.
Get down with that camel?
Yeah.
I mean, Gemalim is obviously a remez to the lot. Then Haman, true. The Gamal, yeah. It's
Oh, Korah.
Is it?
The Gamal.
Can we
It's from the same.
No, because we're in Cheshvan. We're in Cheshvan. It's Ram, it's Mar, Gamal, Goral. Okay, good. So for a whole week, I was thinking Gamal is Goral. Gamal. Oh, good. I love you, God. You're good.
I'm pretty sure Gamal also means Goral.
Ishtabus. Is Zion good?
I think it still means Goral.
Yeah, okay. So, there's no Purim here.
But what's the significance of a camel?
Yeah, I still don't get the camel.
That's right.
Is there a connection between Purim and 3?
Sure. Always. What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm throwing it out there.
Well, where's 3 from?
Gimel, come on.
Oh,
Yeah,
Gimel.
it was 3 days early.
Gimel Mal.
Yudal,
Yeah.
Tevav, Zion.
Yeah.
Wow,
No, you
I'm
can't
circumcised on the third day.
But you know, I think days of Gimel. Those are the 3 extra days.
So how many mitzvahs do we have on Purim?
Days.
How many mitzvahs are there on Purim?
Every 4, I think 4.
We're struggling.
Plus the cola, Gimel plus the cola, but like Gimel.
Are we always plus or minus 1?
Yeah.
We're trying to
This part cuts in.
Purim into the realm of knowing.
I thought you were.
Say good, yeah.
I don't know if it's Purim, but it's definitely good Musar for me.
Yeah.
Maybe this is
Gamal?
personal
The
projection.
M word.
The M word.
Why is no?
Nah, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop an M-bomb. No, I struggle so much davening in almost like every minyan ever. And like this puzzle was always like, go out to the mountain. I'm gonna go daven in the field. That's where I can actually have a good tefillah. And I feel like this is saying
Only if you see a camel on your way out. Go back into shul.
Is anyone picking up on what the camels are all about? Because I'm totally missing out.
Well, let's.
The
Yeah.
plan was-
Didn't she like fed his camels?
Gamal,
Before, yeah,
Is
she
that
saw
the- is
you.
that the reference to the camels?
for that?
Right.
She saw what they were
Why
doing.
is it
Beginning
Gamal?
with
What's a
Gamal
camel?
and
What
Bud,
about
on
this?
the back end,
Because
with
camels,
the
they just
fruit
live for
Eliezer.
people to transport them.
She already fed Eliezer's
Right.
camel,
Also,
but now
okay,
it's
they're
the
really
first
good.
one.
says if you
Even
see
with
the
like
camels, then
And
I'm
then
sure
she
there's
ends up seeing his Gemalim and says,
Yeah.
who's that?
Yeah.
Eliezer says, that's my
Kinda like
master.
the fact that these are present.
No, but
I guess Gemalim
That's a
are
nice thing.
consistent.
I'm like so
stories,
focused
though.
on like how
So
bad
what's
that
this?
davening is
So I
in places.
misunderstood.
Like,
So
if I
he
get
came
like
in and
two
said,
side there's
I'm
like
not
static over here.
It doesn't tell you what it is. It
Static
just
over here,
tells
like
you. For sure there is
definitely
something
make it.
He
What that
decided
is
down
is different.
the side,
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
saw
saying.
camels and that
Right.
his original
Right.
feeling of not
Well,
wanting to
probably
die
it's like
in far.
Right, so
was
if
because he
one-
thought they weren't good enough enough
Very
to
nice.
I
survive.
might see Raffi.
And so what we're saying is that
Oh,
the
so
B'nai
it's
Yisrael
something
through
Yeah.
Yisrael
I want to
Nagel.
daven with them as part of my minion.
He saw the
I want to
camels
be.
after he
I want to
died.
be involved with that person when I die.
When he was
I want to
probably
be.
which one
I want them to be a part of the minion.
So what I'm
I'm
saying
in.
is like if you
And
saw
so when
them
you
in the
are
field,
able to
like,
see,
the camels
oh, I have this Gomal Chesed over here.
give
I'm
it,
davening with
like,
this
you
guy.
have
Okay,
to
good.
feel
I'm in good company.
you're reserving it
My,
to your-
I can
your
feel like I'm
God.
part of it. I come to this completely still like the
Yeah.
So it's like it's one thing
We
to
all
give water.
It's really a
to
minion support
camels, like they have.
Yeah.
So it's coming
another
out.
thing to let them raise in
This
your
is really
field.
just a minion
Really
support group. It's like not an actual.
Yeah.
This is not the first.
It's on the Levush of
Meaning
Torah.
it's okay not to go to
It's
minion
really.
support groups?
No, it's a minion support group. We're trying to get that.
Minions Anonymous.
Is this not the first time like issue of minion has come
That's what
up?
he
I
said.
think
So
it is.
I'm saying that's what.
Well,
that's, I don't know. That's
we've
what I
been
do. Yeah,
dancing
that's
on
what
the
you
issue
saw.
for this
Yeah,
time.
because
Rocky's the first
God
guy.
felt it.
and he saw them in the field.
We've been
Yeah.
dancing on the issue.
Nah, I thought that. For
Only
me,
Raffi could bring
that does work for me. To answer your question, it does work for me.
what was this?
Just for me, like if it's similar to what Adam was saying, but a little different. It's not that like, oh, maybe I'll see that great person there, but it's like I want to daven in good company. I want to be able to admire and respect and feel wonderful about the people I'm davening with. So I don't generally, but this could give me a new set of lenses to look around and try to find those people, or try to see in the people around me who are davening, try to see the Gemilas Chasadim in them, and that'll make me not feel like I always need to jump out to the mountains to daven.
What is your ideal minion? Have you ever been to a minion that you just this is where you want to be?
Sure.
Yeah,
Where?
in the mountains,
Many times.
in the middle of a 10-day hike.
Minion?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Because you have a
That's
similarity
put
with the
myself
other people there, or because each individual is doing a good thing?
No, because we're in the middle of a mountain, and it's
This is
sunset over cliffs, and we're davening and singing, and it's beautiful. And people are all genuinely
Want to be there?
want to be there, or are enjoying the experience. You feel everyone else's simcha and like connection with the tefillah.
Okay, so the first
And
attempt
Tzfas.
at connecting Purim to this parsha was a
No.
colossal failure. Let's just say.
No, we got it because the whole
Everybody,
thing.
it doesn't
No,
matter.
no, it's a good connection. It's a connection. The whole thing in Purim is that all of Am Yisrael are chayes, whatever. But you're bringing out on Purim that everyone's holy, everyone is Chassan Yitzhak. It's a very simple type of thing.
It's very simple.
It's a very simple type of
No,
holiness.
he
It's very
remembered
You know
that
what's so
he was
funny?
he was
You
with the big
overlook
cart,
just
yeah,
one
he was
letter a whole week. Isn't that amazing? You could overlook. I've been trying to do stuff here for like a week, like Gamal Goral. You could overlook one kitsch of a letter, but then something else comes because Rabbeinu Tzadok. You know, Rav Nachman says in a dream.
If it was Goral, what you had?
Yeah, let's say it was.
Well, if it was,
Let's go down that road.
Yeah.
Let's explore that
I
jam.
got you.
I had Ishtabus. If it was Goral, you say V'yetze Yitzchak Lasuch Basad Lifnos Arev V'hinei Gemalim Ba'im. Goralim Ba'im. So first of all, idea is saying Yitzchak was Lasuch Basada, but Lifnos Arev, Arvivus, the idea of mixture, of confusion, of contradiction, yeah? Meaning, Yitzchak is different than Avram Avinu. Avram Avinu, he's Yashkem Avram Baboker, he's saddling the donkey, he's chesed, exactly, he's total inspiration, he has it, he's born with it, he wakes with the morning. If anything, he wakes the morning and the morning doesn't wake him. But Yitzchak is at the end of the day, right? Yeah? So he's Yitzchak Lifnos Arev. He faces the Arev, the Arevivus, the mixture, not the total inspiration, the clarity, yeah? He faces that. Murky waters. So once a person faces Lifnos Arev, he's able to then he lifts up his eyes and he sees Gemalim Ba'im, that Purim's coming.
Yes. Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Goral and Gabal. That's good.
Ishtabus between Goral and Gabal.
Yes.
This is like the chevra you test out your material before. Okay, yeah, what?
It says
I realized what I was going to say was wrong.
Kippurim, Kfarim.
Yeah.
Coin to the rescue.
Oh, nice.
Alright, I think we have to go.
Alright.
Oh, they're getting to Purim.
Take a swift, quick exit, yeah?
Trade just stepped on Digicraft.
Okay, good. Alright, shkoyach, Mazda.
I gotta get a pro.
So, you don't have this.
Could you do this thing about Rabbeinu B'Shescha and Esther thing?
Yeah.
Isaac, Trey just stepped on Digicraft.
Oh, wow.
Can I go to the bathroom?
You know when he goes down? No. When Trey gets a crazy space trippy, so you can see him. He goes over to the Ecoplex. Usually,
What's up? What is the Ecoplex?
it's his thing.
Sorry.
Come on.
It's
It's like one of his new toys.
What do we got?
He like flicks it on, and that's when he gets all like crazy
Either way,
spacey trippy.
so
So I was saying, like, he's got a basketball stuff. Huh?
Like a whale ball, all that stuff. Yeah.
He was.
Okay,
Ecoplex.
okay, we're back to the Vortloff.
There's a YouTube video that has him
No, but
explaining
this
his whole
is
From Torah, is that
this
the
is
one?
all
That's what
Purim.
you just said.
It's
Ralph, this is all Purim.
You
because
can do whatever. No, I don't know.
The one thing we talk about always
Trey
before
did
Purim
Ecoplex.
is going through Purim without feeling like we have to like do this or be this or act this way. Where there's like a real shtabas of Purim that it's just
It's a mem, it's a reish, it's fine.
yeah, that's what it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's the Purim we hope for. We're like, you're not like, okay, I have to get to this drunken place or that. You know, I have to yell when I'm drunk. You just want to like
trust.
you want to let it just like flow very naturally.
I don't even play guitar.
It could be a camel. It could be a Purim. Whatever.
So the Kusker Isaac, this is what you were talking about.
I use
The
it a lot.
Kusker came to the
Yeah,
Simcha
it's
Bonim.
just a cool little thing.
I always figured
Yeah,
it's
it's
on
on
Vortloff.
Vortloff. I don't know why. I don't even understand it at all. But
How did that happen? We were all having fun.
him explain his whole rig.
That's the main
And he
thing.
explained that. And then in cross-eyed,
It's,
the first time I heard
It's
it, like, so
this one.
clearly.
Yeah.
this one.
No,
Yeah.
From there's a recent
this
one.
one. So Taf Reish Pei. Hey, this is from the Sefer MS Vamuna from the Kutzker. Harav Zichron Zeh Ma Pershischa Amar LeRabbeinu Zecher Tzadok Livracha Ki Einu Tzarech Lahazker Es Atzmo. The Kutzker came into Rav Simcha Bonim and he was saying hi. And Rav Simcha Bonim said to him, Eino tzarech lahasker as asm lefanav ki asa lo siman bishmo v'yodei shmo. You don't need to remind me of your name. Simcha Bunim said to Menachem Mendel, you don't need to remind me of your name, because I have a siman to remember your name. Tichsi v'yitzchak ba mibo. Mibo rashi tevos Menachem ben Esther. So, Gewalt. Even though I thought that Katzker's mom's name was Elka. Whether
I would be willing to say that Esther and Elka
is the
same
thing.
thing. One's Yiddish, one's...
Good. Okay, let's go to a very beautiful story.
Rashi Tevos Gamal.
A simon, yeah, exactly.
Very powerful.
And that's how we recognize each other through the Torah. Fine, Reish Man Beis, a little bit up and to the left. Parshas Chayei Sarah. Rashi Yafa Shiachasin Shel Avdei Avos Lefnei Hamakom Ketarasin Shel Banim Vortlach. So Gewalt Chavra, oh, it's so nice, it's so good. Yeah? So, but the Torah goes to great lengths to talk about Eliezer's story, yeah? And yet, that's a lot of talking about Eliezer. So Rashi says in that spot, Yafa Sheyechaten Shel Avdei Avos. More beautiful is the marriage of the son, servants, yeah, Lifnei Hamakom, before Hashem, Ketarasan Shel Banim. It's more beautiful that Yitzchak is get married to Rivka through Eliezer than the Torah of Am Yisrael. Huh? So the Kasker says, Hayitachein, Sheparshas Eliezer Chaviva Lefnei Hamakom Yosim Tarasin Shel Yisrael. Rashi is saying, is it possible that the Parsha of Eliezer, which is at great length in the Psukim, is more chaviv to Hashem than the Torah of Am Yisrael, than the general ideas of law and this and that, etc. The Torah. Good. You hear the question? No? Yeah, it's a good question. V'amar adarabba kalifnei beno hakarov elibo umevin kol remizosov. But the truth is, says the Katzker, the opposite of true. The closer you are to someone, the less you need to explain. So in terms of Eliezer, who was kind of like a Zar, who was an Eved, Avram, he wasn't a Yehudi, but he was close to Avram, it's a high level, but he was a little bit further away from the source, yeah? A level degree. There needed to be a lot more explanation. There needed to be a lot more psukim on Eliezer, on Avram, on Rivka, on Yitzchak, yeah? That's why the Torah goes to great lengths. But when it comes to something that's being makom libino, between Hashem and his children, you don't need so many psukim. Good?
Why was
You should read that Yiddish stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So v'amar de adarabba ki lefnei beno hakaro v'alibo, a person that's close to his children's heart understands it with umevin kol remiz zosav. He understands it without all the hints. Dai b'remiz b'alma. It's good enough with short psukim and just hints. Du bist a heimischer parshata oifen vink. Fershata oifen vink. Aval lefnei ish zar tzrich mefarish. But in front of Eliezer, in front of an ish zar, a little bit. You need a lot more psukim. Huh? Nice. Everybody with us? Rapella? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Is that a wink?
A wink?
Yeah, is that a wink?
A wink, maybe, yeah.
Although,
It's all you need
what if
to
it's the
wink at
verb
something.
in a sentence? The best, Hamish, the best, but it's not do.
Do best is he is.
He is. So,
really
but
good
do,
about
isn't
You
you?
are.
Alright.
Wait, so you are what? It's like a Heimish.
You are a
Yo, but
Yiddish
Chevra,
word,
next-
Fershta.
Next word on the horizon?
You're like
On the horizon. Keep realizing there's a star on the rise. Again, Yahaveh, says the pasuk. Yitzchak loved Rivka. He loved her so much. Shemati b'shem haram shlita from Nacham or Kudisharim, not sure. V'yahaveh sarach lichtov. V'yahavoso. The pasuk could have said when Yitzchak loved Rivka, v'yahavoso. He loved her. Why does it say in one word v'yahaveh? With us? Question? Good? Aval aperish Yitzchak kirvel Hashem, but Yitzchak was so close to Hashem kol kach ad Chayei Sarah b'nei Hashem that even Rivka, Mike, listen to this. Even Rivka was cherished, was loved by Hashem. V'raya lazeh she'Hashem etzem yesh b'tevas v'yaveh. Even in the word v'yaveh, there's yud, there's hey, there's a vav, and there's a hey. You see? It could have said v'yavo, so he loved her. But it said v'yaveh, that she loved her in one word, because there's a yud, hey, vav, hey, mashlim shem Hashem, saying that Hashem was in the shidduch. Hashem loved Rivka for Yitzchak. We should all be zokeh.
Amen.
Let's say zokeh. Okay. Anything else on this page? No? Good? Weiter? Bathroom? Okay.
The shared team.
I mean, there's a lot. Okay.
This is how we know.
His contract says he only has to go till 10. Right there, Adam. The Purim Taurus.
I'm into Ishtabas. I like that music. That's what I feel.
It's really Purim.
Purim. Let's learn a little Megillah.
Oh, Gamal. Goral, Megillah.
Megillah, Otios, Gamal.
And Lamed.
Yeah, Gamal.
Higamel is Megillah, yeah.
Oh, that's what Gamal means.
We're getting somewhere.
Ween.
Ween, yeah, that's what.
Ween.
Roses are free.
Yeah.
Rav Mezber says that the mitzvah they get drunk on Purim is from that word.
Yeah, ween.
Yasar Mishnah Galabin Higamel Sitzchak.
Because he was weaned? That's why he was getting drunk?
He got drunk because he got Mel and Rav Mezber says it's the same word as Megillah. So the reason he got drunk because it was Purim.
Oh, so it's a new development.
I don't
Noah?
Abraham, yeah.
Gamal.
Noah got drunk on.
No. Abraham's son's Yitzchak's bris or weaning party was on Purim.
Yeah, weaning party.
So Yitzchak was drinking at his weaning party?
Well, yeah,
Not
water.
milk anymore. What else are you gonna drink?
Gamal means to wean.
Yeah, because he was weaned.
Does it?
Not when he was 8.
He got milk and stuff.
He was weaned when he was older.
It's like his
Right.
Megillah. It's
Oh,
Megillah.
Megillah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Rashi.
That's a good one.
What age is he weaned?
He knows.
Three.
I like that.
You know, so
It's
but
like
Yeah.
another
she was
upsharenish.
Rivka was also married at 3, so
We
Yeah.
shouldn't get our children
Yeah.
drunk at
Yeah.
Three's not so crazy. They're gonna say like 15. I was like,
it wasn't humanity.
three's cool. Yeah, that's
Proper.
okay.
Biblical fear.
At my bar mitzvah, some old guy at Shul was like, "Yeah, Bashad." I was like, "What is this? Why are you doing
The
this?"
clear remnants to Purim is that Sarah lived 127 years, and that Esther and Malka ruled over 127 provinces. So that Sir Simple says on Purim Torahs.
Get another one of the sheets.
Yeah,
Torah's live.
Every week there needs to be a sheet for Purim Torah. That parsha for
This is the Raffi we love.
Yay.
Unorganized.
You've filed so many papers, it should be a ticker tape parade for all of Anu Shamos. Okay. So Simcha Bunim says, outside, because we don't have all the sheets, he says that because just the requisite mannerism of a Weinberger like this, like that.
The claw. Yeah.
So Simcha Bunim says that through Sarah Imenu and her Tamimus, her Tzidkus, through 127 years, Esther Amalka had the zechus of ruling over 127 provinces. Directly affected by Sarah was Esther. Huh? Fine. So Simcha Bunim says, I'll just read it. זהו פרש המדרש שני חיי שרה חביבים שנושאים של צדיקים בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא. The years of tzaddikim, and specifically here with Sarah Imenu, are so chaviv that through their olam hazeh, they create an olam haba. Because she's so tamim, she's creating the next world within this world, Shabbos, right? Etc. We just did the Sukkot Shabbat thing. Klomar im shnosayim masha chayim bolam hazeh mekubatzim, just like her years were gathered in this world. Heim al yedei ma'aseh tov, through her good things. Veheim atzmam olam haba. Them themselves, her good years of 127, created an olam haba. So, what's the idea here, in my opinion? Sarah Yimenu's olam hazeh created Esther Hamalka's olam haba of Purim. So Rav Nachman says in Kafeh, this one's specific for the Hatzlacha of Kaid and Sid. V'amar Rabbeinu Zichron Livracha shehu Yodea kol sharshei nishmos Yisrael. Rav Nassan heard Rav Nachman say that he knows all the sharshei nishamos Yisrael, the roots of all the souls of Am Yisrael. Mitchila, in the beginning, Amar Sheyodea Osam Torah Shebechsav. In the beginning, Rav Nachman said he understood them. He knew the souls of Am Yisrael from Torah Shebechsav. Sarah Imena. Yeah? Olam Hazeh. Achar Ezazman Amar Shekvar Zacha Leida Es Sharshei Hanishmos Yisrael Gami Torah Shebal Peh. Over time, Rabbi Nachman understood the Sharshei Neshamos from the Torah Shebal Peh, which is Esther. Yeah? No, I'm just trying to connect. You hear? Torah Shebal Peh, Esther, Torah Shebechsav, Sarah Imenu. Okay, good. Anything else? Anybody else? Yeah? Chidushim? No? Good. Okay. Let's go on that.
Good.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Raffi. Happy birthday to you.
No. We said 28 words tonight, just for the record.
Wow.
28?
Wow.
I'm 27, but the Chabad is to say the next year because we're already here 27. We'll be here
You
28.
got brachas to everybody?
Rob, you're turning 27.
I'm 27, yeah.
Okay.
You going? Yeah, 27.
Terrible timing.
84th.
You're
27.
Man, that was
We'll learn
depressing.
more.
Queens.
Let's go.
I have plenty.
In the what did we talking
I was
about?
in Brooklyn.
We were talking about
Yeah.
Nothing. We're saying like
I mean,